nice short and sweet video for you guys today, which is hopefully both entertaining and informative. The two things we are going to learn today from this video. Number one is when you install electric cutouts on your twin turbo Mustang. This is a 2021 Mach 1 with the Hellion Sleeper Kit, but this is going to apply to pretty much anybody with a Coyote Mustang and probably regardless of what style turbo kit you have. But we are going to figure out when you install cutouts, what does that do to your boost controller? What does that do to power levels? What can you expect? Is it worth the money? The second thing we are going to address is basically, did we fix our issues with not building boost and being able to add boost in like you should with the boost controller? Go ahead and hit pause right now if you haven't seen the prior videos and you have no idea what I'm talking about. The last video I just did, I installed these DPW cutouts. So if you're interested on the installation process, the sound, you know, my review, go back and watch that video. If you're having problems building boost and you can't figure out why, go back a few more videos and I've got all the information on that. But if you're all caught up, we are going to throw this thing on the dyno. And first things first, we are going to test and see, did we fix the issues? We are running race fuel in the tank. We are in Utah and 91 octane is the best we can get. No, I am not on E85. So all of these numbers you are about to see is with a combination of about 5 gallons of 91 and 5 gallons of VP 110. So let's get that out of the way. There should be no timing issues. This is on gasoline. So put good fuel in the tank. Make sure you check your oil, make sure you check your lug nuts, and go ahead and wipe down that interior. So when your tuner gets in there, he's not messing with all your junk in the car. Okay, back to the dyno. Okay, so the first pull you just saw was on cutouts were closed, because the first thing we're doing is seeing we can get the boost controller to function as it should. So cutouts were closed, that's why it wasn't super loud. The exhaust on this thing is totally stock minus the resonator delete. So it's a Hellion Sleeper Kit plus the stock exhaust. The numbers for that pull, we had some issues with the RPM sensor sometimes on the dyno. So I'm going to just omit the torque for right now, but at the end I'll show you a graph of all the different pulls. If you see any crazy torque numbers, just disregard those. That first pull was 767 wheel horsepower. We are at altitude here in Salt Lake City. It's about 4,500 feet. It's wintertime, so you know, we got nice cool air, but we are at altitude. So that was the first pull, 767, right around kind of what this car normally makes just on Wastegate, which is 7-pound springs. Now we're gonna go ahead and start turning up the boost using just the normal settings on the boost controller that we kind of had set up before, and let's see what kind of power it makes. All right, those next two pulls that you just saw were on kind of what we'll call the middle boost settings. That's right around 9 pounds, give or take. The car there makes anywhere between 810 and 840. I've seen it make as much as 850 kind of on that middle boost setting. I think we were at 670. I'll go back and look right around there, foot-pounds of torque. But you know, let's call it 835 wheel horsepower on that middle boost setting. Now we're gonna go ahead and crank it up one setting higher and let's see what it makes. All right, we got it cranked up now. So that's about 12.5 pounds of boost. We've got the Overboost, I think, set right around 13 pounds. So we didn't hit Overboost yet, but at that power level, 12.5 pounds. And again, this is with the ID 1050 injectors and also a DW 400 fuel pump. So no crazy returnless fuel system, anything like that. It made 930 wheel horsepower. This is not far off of what it made the first time we were out. You can go back and watch that video way back in the beginning. 930 to the tire. At this point, we are gonna go ahead and open up the cutouts and basically just open up the cutouts and let's see what happens. Okay, listen closely there on that pull and let me know if you can hear it. You can hear when he gets into the throttle, and again, we're in 5th gear because this is a manual transmission car. You can hear, it seems like the turbos with the cutouts open, they spool up real fast. You'll hear them spool up. You'll hear the car kind of build an RPM. It sounds like boost is building, and then you'll hear kind of like a dip. What's going on there is we are hitting the overboost. So without adjusting any settings on the boost controller and opening up those cutouts, basically the turbos don't have to work as hard. We start making more boost, we hit that overboost setting. So you'll see here, we'll do a couple more pulls and we'll run into the same issue. We've got to basically start dialing back the boost controller in order to get everything to work correctly with the cutouts open. Now, what I told the tuner was I'm only gonna be running this thing hard off of anything above wastegate settings when I have good fuel in the tank, and very likely with the cutouts open. So we're gonna optimize for that. So we'll do a couple more pulls. You can kind of see what happens. Basically running the same issue. All right, now we've got the boost controller dialed in so we're not hitting overboost. So basically backing things off a little bit. And we're gonna go ahead and kind of make a max effort pull here. We are data logging, so we wanna see kind of what's happening with everything. Are we happy? This car is at Premier Performance Shop in Salt Lake City, Utah. But the original tune was done by Lund. So we're just doing some data logging right now, and we're gonna give it all it's got, and let's see what happens. All right, that was the pull. It made 945 to the tire, but when we started looking at the data log, what we were seeing is, especially on those the very, very high settings, and when we started getting overboost, we saw that above 7,000 RPM, we're running out of fuel pump. So the injectors could support more power on gasoline. Not saying on E85, that's a different story, but the ID 1050s, this is a 2018 and up, it's a 2021. So it has, remember, it's got port injection and it has direct injection. So we've got the ID 1050s plus the DI pump. So we've got plenty of injector, but we were running out of fuel pump in the tank. So unfortunately, as much as I wanted to see more power, this is kind of the limit for the fuel system right here, 945. I feel like a total dummy. This is the coolest pull of the whole video, trust me. Okay, what we're gonna do right now is we are gonna stay on the high boost setting with the boost controller set up how it is for cutouts open, except we're gonna close the cutouts. So what happens when you've got your system optimized for open cutouts, but you close the cutouts? What does that restriction do? Take a look at this pull and then we'll pause on the graph, because this is the graph that I printed out at the end of the day. The two lines you're gonna see are cutouts open on the high setting versus cutouts closed. We're gonna do one more pull. We're gonna turn it back down to wastegate, and we're gonna see what happens with the cutouts open at wastegate to see if we pick up any power. Okay, we did that last run and cutouts open, wastegate, everything is nice and warm. I actually expected to pick up power. It made almost identical power. I think it was like plus or minus 3 horsepower. So disregard, it made the same power with the cutouts open on wastegate. What that tells me is, although the cutouts sound cool, I don't think they're a horsepower restriction at those low boost levels. Now, certainly as you start cranking it up, we can see that as you put more stress on that stock exhaust system, that the cutouts help a ton. But at the low boost levels, you're fine with the stock exhaust and the resonator removed. Before we wrap up this video, I really want to drive home a key point here, okay? For those of you thinking that you can add cutouts and automatically pick up power, you're not wrong, but you have to have, the parts to support it. In my case, I just didn't have the fuel system. But the big takeaway is not that. The big takeaway is that we were able to do the same amount of power in this case with less stress on the system, okay? When we had it optimized for no cutouts and we went to cutouts open, right? All of a sudden we hit overboost because basically it was able to make more boost with the same duty cycle settings. We had to back down the duty cycle, essentially telling the turbos to work less hard or more efficiently with the cutouts open. So don't get hung up if you see this and you're like, why didn't you pick up a ton of power? That's not really the case right here, okay? You are picking up power, and if you look at that graph, when you see it, when it's optimized for the cutouts, right? The boost controller is operating not off of boost, but off of duty cycle, and boost is what you read back. Now, you can have it set up so when it sees a certain boost, it automatically is like, whoa, let's calm down, but it's basically this boost controller is set up off of duty cycle, okay? So you can see there that when we had it optimized for the cutouts and then we shut them, we lost like 90 horsepower and like 70 foot-pounds of torque, okay? So the cutouts are a really good choice if you have turbos, for sure. And I think they're a good choice if you don't, but they're an excellent choice if you have turbos. What this tells us is we need more fuel system. Let's wrap the video up. Anyways, guys, I hope you found that informative and helpful. I really wanted to see that 4-digit number, but it just wasn't in the cards and we want to play it safe. So we're going to take it out. We're going to race it as is, see how it does. We'll put, obviously the welds back on it so we can get some traction. We'll race it this year. Hopefully everything stays together, and I'm sure it will. But basically next year, if time and money allows, I'm hoping for some sort of fuel system in this thing. And at that point, we can maybe turn it up just a little bit and really see what it will do with the proper fuel system. Can we get to those 4 digits? But for right now, that is the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like this kind of content, I've got plenty more videos just like this. Hit like, hit subscribe, go back and watch the entire Mach 1 playlist because I've got videos from when this thing was stock all the way to now. I do all the work myself. Check it out. I think you're going to enjoy it, and see you next time on Truck and Roll.